Good morning, class 7th. Today we are going to proceed chapter number 2 of history. Our today's topic is dynasties in South India. The Pallavas and Pandyas. The Chols also were the powerful kingdom in South India, and there was a constant war between them for the supremacy. So we are going to study about the Chols, whatever given in your book. So the Chols. The Chol dynasty was founded by Vijayalaya, who ruled in the South India for nearly 4 centuries. However, after the rise of the Chalukyas and the Pallavas, the Chols lost their glory and power. But when Chalukyas and Pallavas were came into existence, the power and glory of the Chols were faded. Vijayalaya captured the Kaveri Delta and built the town of Thanjore as his capital in the 9th century. His successors Rajaraja Chol and Rajendra Chol ruled over a large part of South India. They were known for their efficient administration, welfare works, building temples, and supporting art and culture. Rajendra Chol had a very strong navy, and hence he fought against the Sri Vijay Empire of Malayan Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and the neighboring islands. After this, I am going to detail you some of the features of the Chol period. The first, administration. The kingdom was administered after dividing it into provinces. First of all, the Chols divided the whole kingdom into several princes and called each provinces mandalams that were looked after by governors, and each mandalam was headed by the governors. Each mandalam was further divided into various valandas consisting of a number of villages. Nadu or Kurram, which means the village, was the lowest unit. Inscriptions from Utiramerar provided the information about the organization of Sabha, that is the village level administration. Membership of Sabha was open to Brahmins and people of other castes also. Thereafter, language and literature. Mind it that we are discussing about South India. The regional languages like Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada grew well in the Chols period, and many literary works translated into these languages. Means in the reign of Chols, the regional languages were flourished. Sculpture and architecture. The Chols temples, especially those of Thanjore and Gangaikonda Cholpuram are architectural and sculptural marvels. Temples were not the places of worship, but they were the hub of economic, social, and cultural life also. There was bronze images of this period are considered the finest in the world. After that, agriculture and irrigation. More areas was used for cultivation after new developments in agriculture. Irrigation facilities were extended to the area of cultivation prepared. After clearing forest land, all people took active part in these activities. Public works and taxes. The Chols had an efficient system for collection of taxes, levies, rents, and other fines. There was a very fine, very superb uh, system of collection of taxes, levies, rent, and other fines. But you know that each and every administration depend economically on the taxes that was paid by the people who inhabited in that area. They paid attention to public works like construction of roads, monuments, cities and towns, and irrigation system. So they not only superb in collecting the taxes, but they were superb for the public welfare. Village Sabha had a special committee to look after irrigation works. Village Sabha had a special committee that had the responsibility to supervise the irrigation works, gardens, temples, etc. Thus, we can say that Chols took all steps for efficient administrations. Thank you. The chapter is over. Tomorrow I will send you the book exercise and after that the question answer. Thank you, beta.